Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and preview all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, Arsenal drop 2 more points in the title race, meaning City are able to close the gap to 4 points. Bournemouth shock Tottenham in North London, and Liverpool find a new role for Trent Alexander-Arnold in their 6-1 thrashing of Leeds.
Lots and lots to talk about, so shall we? Let's talk football. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to another week of the podcast. Yeah, it's been one of them.
Yeah,
he's very quiet
really
over
has
that
been
side.
One of them.
Very quiet over there. Very quiet over there. I mean, I feel like starting there for lols. Let's talk about.
No, let's not start there.
It's too
Let's
late.
Start at the. All right.
No, it's too late. I've decided.
Rip the band-aid off.
Let's go for it, because this is what you're all tuning in for this meltdown you're about to listen to. So or watch if you're on the YouTube channel.
On earth is going on?
You lost another game of football.
Yeah.
You're very Tottenham.
It wasn't just that we lost; it was the manner in which it happened.
Yeah.
And we have been saying it all season. We have been dropping deep after we've scored a goal.
Yeah.
And apparently now, it's not an instruction. The players just do it of their own accord.
That's very good of them.
Yeah. I mean, it is very good. But then someone surely should say to them, push up.
Oh, dear. I mean, it was quite an even game, really.
It was and it wasn't. Yeah, obviously shots on goal, no. Shots on target, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, you're just trying to shoot from anywhere and everywhere, by the looks of it.
Oh, well, Pedro Porro had a shot from about 30 yards when there was about 5 people in the box, and everyone just went, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah, not ideal.
To be fair, the abuse that he and Davinson Sanchez got, completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it's not nice.
No, and that's not what we should be doing. And I don't have anything to say to those people that did that. I mean, I was listening to it, and I could not believe the booing when Davinson Sanchez was on the ball. That's so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then to cheer like we've scored a goal when he gets substituted, it's just like,
no,
yeah,
it's not good.
It's not, and it's the way the club is at the moment. We are just all feeling like we've had enough. And we have had enough.
No, but, I mean, was it, because I never heard it really massive, was it a lot of the crowd?
I would say it was probably maybe just over half.
That's quite a lot.
That's quite a lot of the home support booing him when he's touching the ball.
Yeah.
And obviously with Clement Longley now out injured, he is going to have to play.
Absolutely.
If we play the 5 at the back system, Davinson Sanchez is going to have to play again.
Yeah, and it's really not good for his confidence.
He's got is gone. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yes, we know Davinson Sanchez can make a mistake. He is a brain fart waiting to happen. I've said this since he joined the club.
Absolutely.
But you don't boo him in that way. No, I don't agree with that. I was just standing there shouting at people, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you don't turn on your own.
No,
under any circumstances. Yeah. And, full credit to Bournemouth. They played really well.
Yeah. I mean, Gary O'Neill's really got them going.
Yeah.
Because, not that long ago, they were down there with Southampton, right?
Yeah. I mean, Gary O'Neill has done a superb job. Everybody seems to have missed that in all of this.
A little bit. I mean, I've heard a few people talking about the improvement that Bournemouth have made since he's come in. And he's really got them going.
3 wins from 5. They look dangerous when they have the ball.
Yeah, they're probably about a 1 win away from being out of
safety. Yeah,
being away from it all, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which with 7 games to go, you take that.
Yeah, 100%. But we are just in so much turmoil. Obviously, we don't have a manager. The men's and the women's team don't have a manager,
Good.
incidentally.
Things are going well.
Yeah. Obviously, the sporting director may well be
But he's done,
banned
isn't he?
from football.
Yeah.
And even if he isn't, he has got enough stink around him that he needs to be gone. Because obviously, you can't have him picking the new manager, whoever that's going to be. At the moment, that's a wide open race of who wants the job.
No, it's true.
Who's going to take it? Who in their right mind would want to walk into this at the moment?
No, it's not good.
It's not. And yeah, the end of the season can't come soon enough at the moment, because obviously we are facing the prospect of finishing 8th at this point.
Would be hilarious. I mean, would be an absolute shambles.
But it's no more than we deserve, Chris.
No, you're playing bad. You're awful.
Yeah, we're not. It's not that we're playing badly. We're throwing results away, literally throwing them away. I mean, Southampton, Everton, Bournemouth. We've scored the first goal in all of those games, and have gone on to not win the game.
Yeah,
and that is down to the manager, Antonio Conte, now Christian Stellini. It's down to the instruction the players are being given.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be. It can't be their decision to drop back deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But then they say that it is, and it's like, well, do something about it.
Yeah, it's all a bit of a mess at Tottenham at the moment, but there we are.
Yeah, it is.
They are where they are. But, all he's not lost. There's
all
still
he's not
7
lost,
games
7
to go.
games to go, but we've got some difficult games coming.
Absolutely. Let's go then, because I didn't mention him in the intro, but we need to talk about Aston Villa.
Yes.
Through the leadership of Count Dracula, aka Unai Emery.
Count Dracula.
I mean, tell me he doesn't.
Looks like the Count from Sesame Street.
Yeah. But absolutely phenomenal performance against Newcastle.
Yeah, considering how Newcastle have been going.
Yeah. Ollie Watkins is on fire.
He's on fire. And I was thinking about this earlier.
Yeah.
You're looking for a number 9.
Yeah. I mean, I can see these things kind of coming through. I mean, I know what you're trying to do there.
Well, no, forget Harry Kane. I'd go with Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, of course you would. But, he's up there with Haaland, with Kane and Rashford in terms of his goal scoring since the World Cup.
Yeah, and he had so many chances in the game. So many opportunities. I mean, Nick Pope kept the score down in the end.
Yeah, he did. I was just a bit in shock, really, at how open Newcastle were. Because, they've got one of the best defences in the league this season.
Yeah, and
the way Villa were
torn apart. Yeah.
Villa were able just from start to finish, really get at them.
Yeah. I mean, it was so annoying, obviously, that we lost after Newcastle had been beat.
Yeah.
It's not the first time that's happened, but yeah. I mean, what a performance from Aston Villa. And if they get Europe, it will be a miraculous turnaround.
Well, yeah, you think about where they were when they sacked Gerrard earlier in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were sort of bottom 6.
Yeah.
Fearing for their lives early season. And now they're up in 6th.
I know. I think they will get Europe of some kind. I just think they've got that momentum with them at the moment.
Absolutely. They're the team in form at the moment.
But the dream is still there for Villa. They could snatch 4th.
No. Last week you said to me, no, they won't make Champions League.
I didn't think they would. But then I watched them play Newcastle and absolutely tear Newcastle to shreds.
Yeah, I mean, there is a possibility. I know, obviously, they've got to get past us first, and then they've got to get past
Brighton aren't out of that conversation either, by the way.
No, Brighton are definitely not out of that conversation. I mean, that conversation does go down to them, indeed.
I might even stretch it just to Liverpool still at the moment, given the form. Given the form of Newcastle and Tottenham as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So this Champions League race, I think you're probably all right.
I think so now.
Yeah, I think there's more teams. Obviously, the teams below you are going to get caught first.
Yeah, there's 6 points between 5th and 3rd.
Yeah.
But it could potentially go down to what. Well, no, because Brighton's only got 1 game on us.
Yeah.
So we'll have that gap.
I would say you're probably secure. The top 3 is going to be, in that order, I would have thought, at this point.
Yeah. But, I just look at... I mean, we'll talk about United in a minute, but yeah. We'll get to that. But no, Villa are in that conversation.
Villa are riding the crest of a wave.
Yeah, Unai Emery has come in and absolutely turned things around for them. Without a shadow of a doubt. And then you look at Brighton. Danny Welbeck. He just keeps... He's getting amongst the goals a bit at the moment as well. Every time I like seeing Danny Welbeck go on the score sheet. I've got a soft spot for Danny. Obviously, as a former United man.
Yeah.
Thought he was thrown away at United way too early.
Yeah. Didn't do too badly at Arsenal, to be fair to him.
No, he did all right, but obviously he had his injury issues, and he seems to have found just a time period at the moment where he's able to stay fit and show his quality.
They're obviously managing it better than what Arsenal were doing.
Yeah, well, even so, even while he's been at Brighton, he's had the trouble. It's only really been
trouble. Yeah.
It's only really been the last 6 months or so, or maybe even since the World Cup, really, where he started to come through and have that consistent game time again.
Yeah.
But no, a big win for them at Stamford Bridge.
I mean, did you see Encino's goal?
Yeah, it's a cracker.
Jesus wept.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's given the space, but to find that part of the goal...
That little gap that he found. Phenomenal.
And that's one win in 17 for Frank Lampard.
Yeah, no, he's not had the best of seasons, has he? 3 on the bounce at Chelsea.
Yeah.
But we know Chelsea are a bit of a mess.
They are a bit of a mess, and they are going to take some sorting out.
I was just so surprised that I'm still shocked that A, they offered it him, and B, he took it.
He was obviously on a hiding to nothing, was he? Really?
Yeah, it's...
I mean, you're not going to... Frank Lampard is not going to ruin his legacy at Chelsea. They love him.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's only short term. They'll blame it on the mess of everything that preceded him coming in.
Yeah, they'll blame Potter.
I just stayed away from that situation.
Yeah. I heard earlier, or I read earlier, that they are interested in a certain Mr. De Zerbi to take over as their new manager.
Just follow it through. It's all right. Potter will go back to Brighton then, and everything will be all right anyway.
The world will go back on its axis, do you think?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're having a phenomenal season, Brighton. It's good to see, to be fair.
Yeah, they're playing really well.
Else up there.
Yeah, they've got the FA Cup semi-final coming up as well next week. So big opportunity for them. Obviously, I hope that they don't take that opportunity, but big opportunity for them.
It would be a very good story for football if Brighton make the cup final.
If they make the cup final, they have to win it.
And I don't know.
They do. No.
On the day,
No, they do because they have to beat City.
Yeah, but no, I'm just thinking to myself, if they get past Manchester United on a one-off game, can they beat Man City in the final?
Yes, because anybody can beat anybody in a one-off game.
Well, we can prove that.
Yeah,
we can prove that.
So these things can happen in football, and Brighton are a lot better team than that Wigan team were.
Yeah.
Granted, this City team is probably a step above that City team, although that was a very good City team back then.
It was a very good City team. Yeah, that was definitely a shock, that one.
Yeah. But no, Chelsea in the mud continue.
Well, bottom half of the table.
Bottom half of the table now, and looking like they're not probably going to get out of it.
Closer to the relegation battle than they are to the top 6 right now.
Yeah, it is not ideal for them. Their season's done. They can all go on holiday and get the new manager in, forget about it all. They're not getting to Europe. I mean, so it's a free for all at Chelsea at the minute. That's why they're probably not going to do well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they're just coasting to the end. Obviously, they're probably going to lose to Real Madrid, I would have thought, in the Champions League.
I'd think so. I think anything can happen, but a big ask against that Real Madrid team. Absolutely. So back up to the top 4 conversation then. We might as well, let's talk about the thrashing that Liverpool put upon Leeds.
Oh, that was painful to watch.
It was brutal. Liverpool have had this inconsistency all season.
Yeah.
They battered us. They battered a few other teams along the way, haven't they? Rangers in the Champions League, etc. But it only seems to come in little spurts. Now, Klopp's come out in his post-match after the game and said, something's clicked, we're finding a new way.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if that's true, whether it's a bit of a false dawn.
Yeah.
Because they just seem to have these most inconsistent results. But they just still are hanging on to the possibility that they could get into the Champions League next year. I think there's too
many teams in front of them, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well at this stage. I mean, they're going to need 24 points.
Yeah.
From their last 8 games to even
get anywhere near it. Yeah, probably.
To stick them on 71 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big ask. I still think for them.
It's doable.
But it is doable.
It's doable, but I still think that after the season they've had,
yeah,
it would be kind of like, oh, I mean, they've got away with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Trent was phenomenal, I thought.
Yeah. Who knew Trent Alexander-Arnold not having to do much defending would be very good?
Yeah. You know, he needs... I worry about it still, though, because, I mean, in that game, they had a lot of the ball. They were going forward a lot. Leeds seemed to be all over the place in terms of their pressing. They weren't able to really get at anyone.
No.
And so I still think, you know, he looked good in that game, but many teams look good against Leeds.
When they're as disorganised as that.
Yeah. Because, you know, they have that occasion in them, Leeds, don't they, where they're just so open and not together and... You know, things don't always seem to be working at the same rate. So, you know, time will tell. But that little role where he can kind of come and affect the game a bit more, you know, it will support, it will be good for him. But still then defensively, when he needs to, A, get back in his shape, but also worry about what's behind him as well as what's in front of him. Being in that midfield area, you know, he might struggle.
Yeah, that's where he needs a midfield player who is going to cover the space that he leaves behind.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had, when Moussa Dembele was with us, Kyle Walker and Danny Rose used to bomb forward under the Pochettino sort of high press. Let's just go for everybody.
Yeah.
Moussa Dembele just used to cover those two spaces whenever one of them wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that's what Liverpool need. If they're going to play with those fullbacks doing that sort of thing, they do need a midfield player who's
they've sort of had that, though, haven't they? And I think they've lost the mobility because the players are slightly just past their physical best.
Yeah,
you know,
I think last night without anybody really to go up against, obviously Rodrigo's a wide player. He's not a centre forward.
Yeah,
I think they were just given that license to Fabinho. Right, I'm not going to have anything to do really. All I need to do is just try and cover the space in front of Van Dijk and Canate.
Yeah.
And the rest of you just go and play. Yeah.
That was pretty much it. And then they absolutely battered them because they were able to get players forward into areas, and that's where Liverpool have always been very, very good.
And that has done nothing for Leeds' goal difference. Obviously, losing 5 last week.
No.
Losing 6 this week.
Yeah.
They're now obviously just still 2 points above the relegation zone, but their goal difference is now.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as it's not as bad.
It's not as bad as Forest
and Everton,
but it's, you know, we've still got 7 games to play.
Absolutely, but so have they, and they'll concede more goals than they probably score.
Maybe.
You know, so a lot to play for at that point. We'll get to the relegation battle in a moment, but we'll talk about. We'll sort of brush on it, I guess, when we're talking about Forest United anyway. We were solid. Forest gave us space. It was easy. We had the last minute change before the game where Ericsson had to replace Sabitzer.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, so Ericsson then came on and was absolutely sublime, and he ran that. Him and Bruno were fantastic. But it was a lot of it was because Forest gave them the space.
Yeah.
You know, we were able to get our fullbacks, you know, quite similar to the way that City have done in the past, where they drift into the centre areas and drag some players around. We're giving Ericsson and Bruno then space. Whereas I would be like, surely you just let the fullbacks have the ball.
Well,
you focus on the midfielders and you go, well, go on then. Wan-Bissaka and we had Dalot on at left back.
Yeah, pick out a pass. Yeah.
You do something with it, you know, in terms of the play bit. I mean, I know Dalot gets his goal. It was taken for a player that doesn't score many goals, by the way.
Doesn't score many.
I thought that was a cracking finish. It was a really, really nice finish.
Really good. Really good, yeah.
And then Anthony obviously gets his little poacher goal. Martial's come back in, and we do look better when he's in the team.
Yeah, you said that, didn't you, last
Yeah.
week? That he's better as the 9 than
Yeah.
Horst. Yeah.
He's just got a bit more. Well, he's got the pace, but he's stronger than people realise. Obviously, he's got the touch. We know he's got the touch.
That presence as well, where he can, he can spin in behind, as you say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's got everything that you kind of need. And yeah, hopefully we can get him playing more. Hopefully, then that means that means we don't miss Rashford so much then.
What do you think really on the handball thing? I don't really have a viewpoint.
I don't think it's handball. I think there's a lot of these handballs at the minute. I was really glad. Who didn't get one as well? Was it in the West Ham game against Antonio?
Yes.
One very similar, and I was just like, these handballs are getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
Hopefully, but they were both
his arm
right.
Was away from his body.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the ball was only, if the ball hits his head, then hits his arm.
Yeah.
It's not intentional, is it?
No, you can't do anything about that.
I mean, it's a good trick shot if you can do it.
Yeah. But he's never meant it. He's never,
No.
People are going to have their little moan about it, but if it comes off like that, where's he supposed to put his arm in that situation?
Yeah.
So,
it's
no.
the same as the one in the West Ham game, to be fair. Declan Rice had a similar one.
Yeah, no, same.
His arm, and you're like, well, what's he supposed to do?
What's he supposed to do?
Go?
Yeah. So, no, I don't mind. I think the right decision was made.
Yes.
For
once, VAR may have got it right.
Yeah. I mean, we're struggling with injuries at the moment, and I think, with Martinez has had his surgery now on his metatarsal.
Yeah, so he's done probably for the season.
Well, he is definitely out. That was announced. Varane is obviously away. We're now potentially losing Spitzer. We're without Rashford. I think Malacia also took a knock, which is why Dalot was playing at left back, which he did all right actually. Dalot back there. I thought he played very well actually.
And that might
Luke
be the
Shaw
thing that catches up with you, maybe.
Especially going in all the competitions that we're in at the minute. But Luke Shaw will probably be back.
Yeah.
For the midweek game potentially. Someone else. Oh, it was Scott, wasn't it? It was Scott McTominay, I think, as well.
I mean, even Brandon Williams made it onto the bench.
Brandon Williams, yeah, but he has been injured all season, so let's
has he? Oh, fair enough.
Let's not be too disrespectful to Brandon right now. He's been struggling with an injury most of the season. But no, I think we're without Garnacho as well at the moment. Yeah, so there's a few.
So many. How are you coping with all these players?
But that's the thing. That's the thing you see, and then you look at who's played.
Yeah.
And they're all still international footballers.
That was said very much tongue in cheek because we've got lots of injuries too.
Yeah, we're bringing on, lots of players, but we're playing, we're doing all right. We've got a bit of depth now.
Yeah.
Maybe centre back is where we get a bit worried as a fan base.
Yeah.
But when you look at everywhere else around the pitch, with Eriksen being able to come on for Sabitzer, or change Eriksen for Sabitzer,
it's a big problem to have.
It's all right, isn't it, when that happens? So yeah, we're playing okay. I think we'll do enough to stick to third. For us, it's all about the cup competitions.
Yeah, can you pick up another pot? Yeah.
Yeah, can we get another one? It's going to be tricky in Spain after dropping the 2 goals late last week. It was a bit of a shocker because we were in control of that game.
You were, yeah. I must admit, when I came back and it was 2-2, I was like, oh,
yeah. So, a bit of an issue there, and it's always tricky going out there. And Sevilla, it's their competition.
Sevilla are very good in this competition.
Yeah.
They like the Europa League or the UEFA Cup, however you want to.
So we'll see how that goes, and then obviously we've got Brighton in the cup as well next weekend in the semi-final. So we'll see how it goes. That I think Ten Hag really wants a European trophy under his belt. If I'm honest, I think he will prioritise the European Cup over the FA Cup. You never say that publicly. He'll never say that publicly, and it'll never come out. But I think he wants a European trophy.
Yeah,
for sure. So that was United, and then Forest. Then obviously were too easy to play against, and now they find themselves down in the bottom 3, and they're not away. They're not, they're not cut off. They're not done. There's still a bit of hope, but they feel like a team. Well, they don't feel like a team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, they were another club very similar to Chelsea. Spent a lot of money on a lot of players.
Yeah, and it's not really gone anywhere. Yeah.
Well, they tried to do everything and change everything very, very quickly, and then you've got to try and build a team. And now the problem for Forest is that you've spent whatever it was 180 odd million that they've spent on players or whatever it is this season.
Yeah.
You can find yourself in the Championship next year.
Yeah, because they are now running out of teams to catch up to.
Yeah, and financially, that's a problem.
Yes, it is if they've not,
because they've gone all in this.
Things like that.
They've gone all in this season on stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. But they've got a chance. I mean, you're kind of starting to think now, right? Is it Leeds, Everton, Forest, and
I would say
Leicester in that battle?
I would say it's between the bottom 5 now.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see it emerge, aren't we now?
Yeah, I would say West Ham have probably got enough, although they've got some difficult games, West Ham.
Yeah.
Between now and the end of the season. I would say they're probably almost there. We were talking about Bournemouth, obviously. They probably just need one more win.
Yeah.
Wolves are doing okay at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I'm starting to see that it's going to be probably between the bottom.
Yeah, and there's still a few games to play between themselves, etc. So we'll see how it goes. I think Southampton, for me, are looking like they're off.
Southampton are probably done. Yeah.
And I think Leicester are going as well, now.
Well, Leicester just don't look like they can buy a win, do they?
No, they've just hit the stuff. The second they got rid of Brendan Rodgers, it just felt like a give up. We give up.
Yeah. Because
they didn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? If you're going to get rid of someone like Brendan Rodgers, who's been there for years and done a really good job, you've got to have you've got to have whoever's going to keep you up lined up.
Yeah. And
unless it fell through.
Yeah.
Unless it fell through, but even so, you stick him on a sick. You're only looking to keep him for half a season, whatever. Initially.
Yeah.
Try and keep you up. That's what just shocked me about the whole thing with Brendan Rodgers. Like, why have you done it now? Yeah. And then when it's been 2 or 3 weeks now, and they've done nothing.
They've had no improvement. No.
But they've done nothing in terms of replacing or bringing a change in.
They've brought Dean Smith in.
Yeah.
But it's only to the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's only a stopgap to.
Exactly.
To get to the end.
Dean Smith's got a bit of experience down there.
Yeah.
But it took them so long to get the replacement in. Interesting. But I think Leicester are in trouble, and they showed no signs of improvement.
No.
On
Whereas
Saturday.
Roy's got 3 wins out of 3.
Yeah, Roy's looking very, very good. Eze has been phenomenal.
Yeah. It just works. I said this when he came back, Roy Hodgson. It just works. Roy Hodgson, as Crystal Palace manager, it just works.
Yeah, they're going to have to move on eventually, though.
But yeah,
they're going to have to move on eventually.
They're going to do when they want to change the manager. But yeah,
I wonder whether he'll. I don't know. Do you think he'll stay? I've got an inkling he might stay a season.
He might do.
I've just got this feeling that he might do it. That, or he'll leave and go, I'll see you again this time next year.
Probably, yeah. this time next year, Rodney.
Yeah, we'll see you next year, and I'll keep you up again. But get rid of the stresses of the summer, stay out of the way, of all of that lot, and just come in and do a bit of coaching at the end of the season and keep the team up.
We'll move on to the top of the table.
Shall we then? Shall we have a little look and see what happened there then? So, obviously, Saturday, we talked briefly about Leicester, but Man City were very, very Man City.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Haaland's in the goals again. Grealish is finding the form, finally.
Do you know what? I didn't see much of this game. I only saw the highlights. John Stones' goal.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot that is.
They've got him playing in this weird role, which I don't truly understand. I mean, I look at the lineup now of City, and I'm like, what are they playing?
Yeah.
What are they actually playing? Like in the Sky Sports, so I use the Sky Sports score app.
Right.
So I see the lineup in there, and according to what that had it up, and obviously it's probably completely wrong, it was a 3-2-4-1.
Yeah, which is what they've got it down as. Yeah.
And then, but John Stones was in midfield for most of that game. So I don't really understand
where everybody's playing.
what everyone's doing. And I couldn't work it out when I was watching, but that's more on me
Fair,
not
as long
having
as
the
they
knowledge.
Understand where they're playing.
Well, exactly. And if the opposition can't work it out, then
yeah,
he's aware all the gaps are coming.
Yeah.
But they're starting to find their feet now.
What are they on? What's he on? 47 goals now, Haaland?
Yeah, 32 league goal.
Ridiculous.
Is it 32 in the league?
Ridiculous.
He needs
and
another.
They are flying.
Yeah, he needs another 3 to beat Shearer's 34. I don't know who it was. If someone was moaning about, obviously he took him off at half time, didn't he?
Yeah.
And someone was going, but he took him off on a hat trick. And he's close to getting Shearer's record. And how many games are left? He's got 8 games left. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right.
By the looks of it, he's managing an injury at the moment with Haaland.
Yeah, and the fact that they're fighting. They've got the treble on.
Yeah.
So, rest him up, get his energy for when you need him the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which will be, against Bayern.
Yeah, because Bayern could do something there. I don't think it'll turn it completely around.
I don't think it will, but it might give them it'll be hard. It'll be difficult.
It'll be difficult for them.
Then obviously they've got Sheffield United now. You'd expect them to just, with all due respect to Sheffield United, you'd expect them to roll them over. Although they're having a good season
in the championship,
in the championship for sure. Looking like they could be coming straight back up, or coming back up this season.
But they've got a lot of big games between now and the end of the season, and they were 3-0 up.
Yeah,
the game was over.
There's no need to take risk.
No.
And then
we're not going to pull that back.
No, they really weren't. They were never in a position to do that. And then we go to West Ham, Arsenal. Arsenal looked in the first 10 minutes as if, right, this is all done, we're good.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether
10 minutes gone, I was like, oh, West Ham, they're going to take a hiding here.
I think everybody was thinking that. But then I think maybe that's the thought that went into a couple of the Arsenal players.
Yeah.
And they dropped their level.
Yeah.
And they paid for it a little bit, maybe.
Maybe it's second week in a row, though, that they've done
a little bit of a wobble. Yeah, I mean, you can excuse it happening at Liverpool.
Well,
this one's a bit more difficult.
Jamie Carragher was on commentary, and he said, well, West Ham, they're not capable. They're not like Liverpool. They're not capable of doing it.
Well, yeah,
really?
And then they let them do it.
I just thought it was ironic that Jamie Carragher was bigging up Liverpool and then West Ham did it.
Yeah, but he's not wrong, though. He's not wrong,
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But Anfield, I said it last week, Anfield just has this ability to do that too, yeah? But, that was a proper wobble yesterday from Arsenal.
Yeah. But
that's all it was.
But full credit to West Ham.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I know Bukayo Saka misses the penalty.
Yeah.
But
that's a big moment.
That was a very big moment. And I know he's got a little bit of abuse online, which I don't like to see.
No.
Because, players miss penalties.
Yep.
It happens. It's all part of the twists and turns of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, full credit to West Ham. They did what they needed to do. They scored their second goal and they hung on for dear life.
They got the point. So the gap at the top's now down to 4. Obviously, City have their game in hand.
Yeah, and they've got to play one another this time next week.
Yeah, so it's all going to be very, very, very interesting. I think if Arsenal can get a draw, so I think for Arsenal, obviously they need to beat Southampton. And is it Friday, whenever it is?
Friday night, yeah.
So that needs to happen.
Yeah, with City not playing, they need to take advantage of City not being there.
Create that gap again, and then if you come away from that game against City with a draw,
you're happy.
You kind of go, right, it's still in our hands.
Yeah.
We're still in control of this situation.
They don't do that.
Yeah, if they lose to City, then obviously, there's no guarantee City go and win all 7 games that they'll have left after that.
But they're more than capable.
They're capable of doing it. But Arsenal are capable of winning their last 7.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be some ups and downs along the way. I don't think City will go perfect. I don't think they'll get their 20. I don't think they'll. I'll say it now, and they probably will. But I don't think they get. I don't think they get 24 points.
No.
They might be looking at it going, right, if we get 20, that gives us a shout. And I think, if Arsenal probably do need the 7.
Yeah, Arsenal probably need to win 7 out of 7.
But it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky either way. I think we could be looking at an 85-point winning season potentially,
which is quite low, really.
It is low consider. Well, it's not. It's just that
it's
City and Liverpool.
To the I was going to say it's low compared to the standards of last
year. Yeah, when you had Liverpool and City hitting top 90s, 90 odd points, close to 100 points for the last 3 years, it is a drop off. But it's more of a typical season. What a
shame for Arsenal that we haven't got to play Manchester City. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, you'd give them 3 points, wouldn't you?
No, Manchester City. They are.
That's
we are their bogey team.
You'd give Arsenal.
Oh, we give Arsenal 3 points. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, so it's getting tight at the top. It's getting very tight. It's going to be a nice little feisty running. There's action to be seen pretty much in all areas of the league. The bottom, the top. The European spots, all 8 it'll probably be, won't it? 7, 8, potentially in the league, depending on what happens in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a feisty little end to the season. We're in the last stretch now. We're kind of coming around the last bend.
Yeah, we're into single figures now.
Into the home straight. So let's see how things go. I think we've been for all the games, haven't we?
We haven't gone to Fulham or to Wolves, but.
Fulham smacked Everton and Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves, actually, that's a good win for Wolves over Brentford. We must say that.
Yes.
Brentford have had a good season. Diego Costa gets his first goal for Wolves as well. So,
yeah.
He's finally got off the mark.
Yeah.
Right then. Shall we have a little look and see what's been going on around the world?
We shall. And I'm going to go to Serie A, where it was a bad weekend at the top of the table, unless you were from Rome, as Lazio and Roma both won 3-0. Napoli and Milan drew. Inter lost to Monza. Atalanta and Juventus lost round 2 on the top 4 places. Yeah, not much going on in Italy. Well done to Lazio and Roma. In the battle of the top 2 in France, PSG beat Lens by 3-1 to move 8 points clear of now second place Marseille, who also won by 3-1. Draws are plenty in the Bundesliga. Out of the 9 matches this weekend, 6 were draws, including the top 3 as it stays as it is. The big result came as the bottom 2 collided as Schalke beat Hertha Berlin by 5-2. In Spain, the 2 Madrid clubs won as Barcelona were held by Getafe. At the bottom, Valencia lost to Sevilla with 5 points now, separating 19th to 14th in the relegation battle. In the Women's FA Cup, Manchester United and Chelsea will contest the showpiece at Wembley after beating Brighton and Aston Villa respectively. Down under, Melbourne City's lead is up to 8 after they draw and Adelaide United lost. No news from Saudi Arabia, but a change of manager for Al Nazir, although no word on the club's social media accounts as Diko Janilovic replaces Rudy Garcia. And finally to the MLS, where the battle of the LA clubs ends with a win for LAFC by 3-2. Interestingly, LA Galaxy's goalkeeper is Jonathan Klinsmann, son of the legend that is Jurgen Klinsmann.
Very good, very good. Lots going on then. Some exciting stuff to look out for.
He was at the Lane this weekend as well.
Was he? Jonathan or Jurgen? I was about to say.
Jurgen was.
He's done
Jurgen
well, isn't he?
He was doing a bit of scouting for South Korea.
Ah, very nice. Yeah. I mean, what's he looking at? Oh, Son, yeah, he's good enough. I mean, what is there to say?
He went to Celtic as well.
What's there to say? Oh, shall I see Son? Oh, yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, we'll put him in the squad. What's there to scout?
He had a half-time chat with Paul Coyte as well.
Oh, dear.
Nice to hear.
Well, there we are. Legends are plenty at Tottenham. Shame they can't get a goal on the pitch. They could do with one from Jurgen, for sure.
We were saying, funnily enough, that we could probably do with Jurgen out there, but he's not a defender.
Very true. Very true. You're going to tell me our mate Donis has scored a hat-trick this week, aren't you?
I am going to tell you that our mate Donis set up a goal this weekend.
Oh, he got an assist. Let's go.
He got an assist for Hartberg as they came from 2-0 down to draw with El Tac.
Nice.
Thanks to VAR, by the looks of it, helping them out. So, yeah, they continue to try and pull away from the relegation space in the Austrian Bundesliga.
We take those.
That's a goal and an assist in the last
couple of weeks. He's starting to show some now, and he's affecting, and he's being important in results for them as well.
Definitely.
Right, should we have a look at the fixtures then?
Yep. So we'll start with the FA Cup semi-final. Manchester City take on Sheffield United on Saturday at 4:45. When the Sunday game being Brighton versus Manchester United at 4:30. Moving to those Premier League fixtures, so just the 8 games in the Premier League, obviously. Arsenal taking on Southampton on Friday nights. Fulham and Leeds are Saturday lunchtime. Crystal Palace Everton is 3 o'clock, as is Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Brentford and Aston Villa, and Leicester and Wolves. With a big game down the bottom. 2 o'clock kickoffs. Newcastle hosting Tottenham at St James's Park, and Bournemouth facing West Ham.
Some juicy little ties there, obviously, with the FA Cup semi-finals as well. It's going to be a good weekend of football. So one last thing to say from us is thank you very much for listening again this week. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, you can tweet us at Let's Football Pod. You can email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com. But don't worry, we'll be back next week with all the news from the Premier League and the FA Cup semi-finals, as well as what's going on around the world. But for now, we will see you all next week. Bye!